Welcome back to the second segment of the show. We're going to be discussing a lot with our guest, Dr. Zeinab Nawar, Professor of Economics. Good evening to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
We're just going to take a look at a report first, and then we're going to get into the discussions about it. We're going to be looking at a report on the developments in Sinai and the projects that are expected to take place within the peninsula.
The new republic implements comprehensive national plan to change life in Sinai. More than £700 billion of investments were and are being implemented to develop the Sinai Peninsula in 8 years. Development of investment and industrial infrastructure aim to attract and encourage investors in Sinai and canal cities. The Egyptian state has launched major and unprecedented national projects covering various sectors linking the eastern Egypt portal to the delta by making these canal cities a natural extension of the Nile Valley and overcoming all obstacles in order to attract investment opportunities. In addition to the interest in service sectors such as education, health and agriculture, as well as the focus on providing all forms of support and social protection to Sinai people. Such contributed to a paradigm shift that changed the face of life in Sinai and transforming it into a promising attraction and an environment conducive to investment and reconstruction in a state of security and stability, which has also led international institutions to commend Sinai's continued development efforts at various levels. 5,428 projects were funded by the National Project for Community, Human and Local Development, your project, at a cost of £749 million, providing 38.4 thousand job opportunities until the end of February 2022, as well as approving the funding of 788 projects from the Local Development Fund with a total investment of £5.5 million in North Sinai, Ismailia and Suez until mid-April 2022. Concerning agriculture development in Sinai and the canal cities, the most prominent agricultural projects included Sinai Development Project, where the total area is 1.1 million feddans, of which 239,000 feddans were cultivated until the end of March 2022. A total of 18 agricultural clusters were established with a total of 2,122 beneficiaries. In a related context, the most prominent fish farming projects where more than 9,900 basins were implemented within the Suez Canal Authority and El Fayouz fish farming projects, while the cost of developing Lake Bardweel in North Sinai is £120 million, and the cost of establishing 8 villages for the fishermen is £3.5 billion. Concerning developing the irrigation system and protecting Sinai from dangers of floods, the report stated that 95.7 thousand feddans of the new land were completed within the first phase of the modern irrigation system in northern Sinai, Ismailia and Suez. The most prominent Sinai water supply projects were the production capacity of Bahr al-Bakar wastewater treatment plant is 5.6 meters per day to contribute to the reclamation of about 456,000 feddans, in addition to the production capacity of Mahasma treatment plant is 1 million cubic meters per day to reclaim approximately 60,000 feddans. With regard to the development of basic infrastructure and services in Sinai and the canal cities, there was the implementation of 18.8 thousand social housing units at a cost of £3.3 million. And in addition to the above, 45 drinking water projects were implemented with a capacity of 478,000 meters per day. There were efforts to establish an extensive transport network to connect Sinai and canal cities to a delta through roads, tunnels and floating bridges projects, where 5,000 kilometers of roads and tunnels were implemented and upgraded, as well as the construction of 5 floating bridges over the canal. Regarding airport projects, the Bardweel International Airport was established on an area of 320,000 cubic meters at a cost of £718 million. 6 airports were developed and upgraded, namely Al Tur, Taba, Sharm el Sheikh, Al Arish, Port Said and St. Catherine. With regard to electricity supply projects for Sinai and Canal Cities, 1.5 million subscribers are connected to the electrical feeder line until March 2022, and the cost of developing, upgrading and strengthening the electricity networks was £3.5 billion until 2022.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again. Dr. Zeinab, can you tell us a bit about the plans to develop the peninsula? Are they now sort of being, not escalated, are they being sped up in the terms of how we're developing the Sinai Peninsula?
Yes, if you're going to talk about the plans and what's going on the ground in terms of development and different projects in Sinai, actually we have, and recently, a lot of projects in Sinai. The main target of all of these projects, number one, is to, what we can say, enhance the standard of living of people who are living in Sinai, and this was the priority in this issue, and also to attract as many as Egyptians from different governorates to live and work in Sinai. Sinai is a very precious part of Egypt, full of resources, full of opportunities. And of course, all of these infrastructure projects, in a way or another, you are using this type of resources. You are trying to attracting more of human resources also. I'm talking about the Egyptians, of course, from different governorates to work in these projects. Starting from, we have different types of infrastructure projects and also service projects like education, health services to be provided to the people of Sinai and the Bedouin of Sinai, different types of housing to people that used to live there, and also how we have some sort of, what we can say, irrigation projects. So this is to enhance the agricultural production in Sinai. Sinai is very rich in what we can call the medicinal herbs, and also the farming of fruits that you can easily export to different countries around the world. And also, when we talk about the infrastructure projects, in terms of irrigation canals, in terms of providing what we can say, good quality of drinking water to people living in Sinai. This was not used to be provided to them before. So this is very important to provide them with clean drinking water, and also the sanitation and all of these type of important services provided to humans living in Sinai.
Yes. Obviously, infrastructure is very important when it comes to building new cities and building projects and sort of developing the region itself. But part of the Egyptian vision is not just to develop the Sinai Peninsula, but also there's the idea of sustainability and green projects in general. What could we expect when it comes to the Sinai Peninsula in terms of sustainability and green projects?
Of course, we have the agenda of that we do have 2030 for Egypt vision in terms of achieving sustainable development. Sustainable development means that it's not only about achieving economic growth, but also it's about achieving social enhancement, and also you have to preserve the environment. So sustainable development means that you have to work on a balanced way of achieving growth. So you cannot work on a pillar and then you neglect the others. It's impossible. So when we talk about the green projects, when we talk about preserving the environment, when we talk about how to use this for the sake of Sinai, of course we have a great opportunity, because in Sinai, since we have what we can call a virgin island there, and also less pollution there also, so we can use different types of energy, and also we can also use the soil for the agricultural products, using what we can say more advanced techniques just to preserve the environment. You know, the environment of Sinai is very sensitive to any changes. I mean, you have to stick with the sustainability when you talk about Sinai, because of the type of creatures there.
Yeah, there are a lot of preservation centers there.
This is very important. So if you'd like to develop Sinai, you have to take care of all of these different creatures and this unique type of environment, mountains, even the soil, and even the type of plants and the medicinal herbs that you do have in the mountains. So I think that we can use all of this unique and what we can say original type of environment that is not copied anywhere else in the world to market for. Of course, we have a lot of tourists coming into Sinai because of the clean environment there, of course, the beautiful mountains, the beautiful also herbs and the type of food that you can eat. All of this because you have a clean environment and you have a sustainable, what we can say, sustainable land that you can work and build upon what we already have. So, of course, to achieve sustainable development and to work on this type of green projects, you have to build on whatever we do have there. And this will be our edge, and this is what we have to build upon it. We have a lot of tourists coming into Sinai just to enjoy, what we can say, the purity of the air, the beauty of the mountains. Everything is clear, everything is clean, less pollution, so we have to build on that.
So the goal here, I mean, obviously there will be cities like the canal cities, that may include industrialization, but the Sinai Peninsula, we're trying to make it as simple as possible and more, earthly or, environmentally conscious. Is this correct?
Yes.
So will there be plans to develop, because as far as I know, is that the Sinai Peninsula has, as you were saying, agricultural products. Will we try to develop these agricultural products when it comes to, like, for instance, olives and olive oil and all of the other different forms of...
Yes, there are plans for that, and also there are a lot of plans for a proper type of irrigation, because one of the main obstacles why there is no expansion or enough expansion of agricultural lands in Sinai was the problem of water, and how just to have like a proper and organized system of irrigation for the lands in Sinai, because this will cost a lot. Because people of Sinai, the Bedouin, used to depend on the rains, most of them, for the agricultural work and farming, and they used to have very small farms in terms of number of fadan and all of that. But once we have governmental and different, what we can say, big projects for agriculture, so actually it needed a lot of, what we can say, different resources.
Technologies, basically.
Yes, for irrigating these huge lands. So once you will have this, of course, you will have the opportunity to farm a bigger lands and a bigger amounts of whatever land, and you can use them. And of course, the lands of Sinai, you have this type of fruits, different types of fruits that you can farm. Could be also type of the production coming out from Sinai. Also, we have vegetables, different types of vegetables also. And we have also what we can say medicinal herbs, and this is very important, and this is something unique in Sinai, that used for medicine, that used for any type of whatever health care and healthcare services, and also what we can say, sometimes you can attract tourists just to, when you just market for this type of products.
Medical tourism.
Yes. They will come to you for this type of herbs, and they are seeking this type of, what I can say, again, purity and beautiful environment of Sinai. So we have a lot of opportunities in terms of the agricultural production, and I think that the government, since they started to work on that, so this will be an excellent opportunity for having a good production in terms of agricultural products, and also to export part of it outside, and then getting more of cash and inflow.
Do you think that we could possibly, as you were saying, obviously there are a lot of forms of earthly things like herbs and stuff like that work for medicinal purposes. Could we possibly work towards what Jordan is doing now with the Dead Sea situation, where they're marketing Dead Sea products worldwide as, medicinal, and they invite people in to swim in the Dead Sea for medicinal purposes?
Yes.
Is this something that could be done on an industrial scale here in Egypt?
Yes, it could be done. We can expand on that, but we already do it in Sinai. We used to do it. I saw some of the tourists, they just came in Sinai they are buying this type of medicinal herbs, and they just like drinking this type of medicinal herbs, like, and putting them in water, and then actually it heals a lot. Sometimes when you have a cold or something, you will see that the people of Sinai, they will tell you, you have to drink this type of whatever their names, and this type of whatever their names, and then once you will just have this type of herbs and medicinal herbs, you'll be fine and there will be no use of any type of medicines. So a healthy type of living, because when we say that the Europeans and those who are coming from different places of the world, they are just seeking this natural, simple way of life sometimes. And also what we do have, which is very also, we are unique in Sinai, something called the eco-lodge hotels.
Yes.
In these type of eco-lodge hotels, so you can go just in a hotel inside the mountain, no noise, no TV, no mobile phone. You just live a very simple and healthy life. You will eat a very simple type of food just coming from the environment that surrounding us. So maybe after you spend 5-10 days within this place, you will just have, you'll be in another place, I mean that, enjoying and having some sort of rest and some sort of being away from the whatever pollution and any disturbing things. So actually we do it, and we do it a lot in Sinai.
Yes.
And also we have a great edge in that.
What about the road infrastructure? This is an important part of developing Sinai as well. What are the plans to expand the road infrastructure? Are we trying to connect the different cities, or are we trying to develop new cities, for instance, and therefore trying to connect them to each other? What's the situation when it comes to this?
Actually, the plan is for both connecting the cities inside Sinai and building new cities for the Bedouin, because the Bedouin used to live in a very simple type of cities, which is not, yeah, I mean that, yes, it's something related to their environment, but we will talk about the comprehensive development of Sinai. I think this type of simple housing that they used to live in, maybe we need some sort of change. Maybe we need just to do a comprehensive development, so we have to build new houses in a way or another for those who are going to come from different governorates. So, of course, the government has the two types of plans. It's to connect different cities inside Sinai, and this will cost the government a lot. Because moving inside the Sinai and also doing this type of construction work between the mountains and the environment Sinai is not easy to do. Construction work and to do roads, it costs a lot. So number one, connecting the cities. Number two, which is very important, is to connect Sinai with the rest of the governorates and with the rest of Egypt, which is very important. You have also to facilitate the movement of different Egyptians from different governorates going into Sinai to do business, to work, to start their own jobs, wherever, and also to facilitate the movement of the Bedouin themselves into different governorates to get services. So it's the two ways, it goes in the two directions, which is very important to be done. You have to link this precious part with the rest of the governorates through different roads and different bridges and all of this, and tunnels, of course.
Yes. Well, we talked about the Sinai Peninsula itself, but about the edges of it, where it comes to the canal cities like Ismailia, Suez, and so forth. What's the plan for them? Because their situation is a bit different from what's happening when it comes to the Bedouin life in the Sinai Peninsula. Will we see some sort of something related to the Suez Canal, logistical hubs, for instance, being created, or industrial complexes? What's going to happen in the canal cities?
Actually, the government recently had done an excellent work when we talk about, maybe you're talking about Ismailia, Suez, Port Said, and all of this governorate that is related yes, surrounding Sinai in a way or another. Yes, we had a lot of reform and development projects for the different ports. And this is very important also once you are saying that you are developing the port in whatever, in which governorate that we do that. This is very important that you attract more, what we can say, if you can just provide the ships and the, what we can say, maritime agents that is coming into your ports with different services and value-added services. So definitely this will create more income for the Egyptian budget.
Yes.
Another thing, of course, when we talk about the industrial hubs, when we talk about the Suez Canal, the industrial zone and the zone of Suez Canal itself, and the different industrial projects and the different plans, and also the authority of the zone of the economic zone of Suez Canal. Actually, they had signed a lot of agreements with different partners, with different multinational companies, and actually this is an excellent work from them that they go and they market for the different projects and the different opportunities that we do have, and also they are successfully also bringing them into the table, negotiating with them, and then having what we can say a good deal with them, which is very important to start the business inside this economic zone. So this is partially will play a good role if we talk about the development of the people living in these different governorates, along with the development of different ports.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but it was wonderful talking to you about the Sinai Peninsula and development. Dr. Zeinab Nawar, Professor of Economics, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, my dear, thank you.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time for this episode of Business Insider. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more here on Nile TV. معلش